Hi. I guess Leo wants to say hi at the same exact time that I do. If you're new around here for whatever reason, I'm Cadence. I'm a musician, writer, pretentious artist that likes to do a lot of crazy things. Um, 2024 is kind of come to a close, and because I'm going to be going back home to Jersey for the holidays, I'm not gonna have a lot of time to post more covers and do other kind of things on social media. So I thought, why not, as one kind of final video to kind of like end off the year, I do like a sit down and kind of talk about my plans for 2025 and discuss a couple of some of the things I've done so far. It's gonna be a very laid back video. I don't plan on doing a crazy ton of editing to this. There's probably not even gonna be music in the background. It's just gonna be a nice, calm video. I don't know how long this is gonna be. Um, but yeah, I just want to talk about things I've done before in the past, things I want to do moving forward for 2025, and maybe kind of shed some light on a couple other things about myself because I have gotten quite a few questions both in person and online about myself and who I am as a person. So I figured, why not kind of tie everything up together so we can get a good start on 2025 when the time comes. Leo is gonna be like this all the time, anyways. So this Leo, Leonardo is a white-faced Latino cockatiel. Is about to turn 2 actually, which is pretty surprising. Actually, I've had Leo for quite a while. I don't know why. Why are you hissing at me, bud? Why are you hissing at me? Oh, I know, because you haven't gotten your food yet. You have your. Anyways, just complaining about extra stuff. But who am I? My name's Cadence. I am 27, and yeah, that's kind of like the most bare bones things that you kind of have to really know for now. I do music and writing. I do both original music, where I have released a plethora of my own songs, many different varieties. And I also do covers, and I do different shows around the 757 area. That's in the east coast of Norfolk. That would be Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Hampton, Newport News, etc. That is where I am located at, as you may say, without me fully having to dox myself. Um, Aside from that, a lot of people often question why I have in my Instagram page and why a lot of times in my username I refer to myself as cadence.music.writes, like why that's the username instead of cadence writes music. That's because I don't just do music, I actually do writing as well. A little bit before everything with music kind of kicked off a little bit for me, I actually did a lot of freelance writing. I did a bunch of blogs and SEO writing for IT and also gaming blogs as well. In fact, actually, if you go to my link tree, I have a tab just for my writing portfolio, and you could see all my different all my different writing profiles I've done for. I wrote for The Gamer, I wrote for Gamer Empire, I have a Fiverr dashboard, I wrote for 07.gg, which is like a new website for RuneScape. I have written quite a bit, and I've had a decent amount of success with it. And of course, I do some of my own creative writing as well. Aside from the obvious being songwriting, I have a fantasy linked short story collection called Tales of the World of Gower. That's available now on Wattpad. And then I have a romance story, a BL romance story, called Light. Also available on Wattpad. And I'll get into the writing later because I didn't want to talk about that later on. Actually, screw it, I'll just talk about it now. One of the main things aside from music that I want to do within 2025 is I do want to get back into writing. I feel like when I did writing up first, especially earlier this year and late last year, I really kicked it off right off the bat, and I got really burnt out of it really quickly. And it's a shame because I have these two complete stories that have gone through a draft or two, but I haven't really done any major publishing. I haven't really kind of advertised them as much as I probably should have. And I think if I actually took some time to kind of go back and polish them through with the stories and the stuff that I created with this whole map I've made, I think it'd be really cool to actually say, hey, I have published books. That'd be really awesome. So that's one thing I will try to get back into with 2025, and not just with writing as well. I like to be able to kind of not just present it and also kind of make content out of it, but also kind of make videos about that as well. You see, because one of the other major goals I have is to kind of make a much more presentable social media page and a social media following. I feel like definitely for this past year, since I've dived into the creative arts, if you will, I've it's my first year of doing solely music and writing, and I felt like there was a lot of things that I've had to kind of learn on my own. I was like, experimenting with a lot of stuff. I don't have a full band or a personal producer or a sound engineer. Like, this is everything you've heard from my music. It's all me. Like, I play the bass, I play drums. You see me play guitar. I do all the video editing, the recording. I do. It's all like on me, and at that same time, trying to fight off that overwhelming nature means that sometimes, like, I immediately have had to take, like, I think, shortcuts before in the past for certain things, or maybe things may not have been like as professional as it should have been. And so that's why I kind of want to go back through my YouTube channel, through my Instagram, and I kind of want to start like polishing up some things. I want to start like making like legitimate posts about stuff. I want to start like kind of doing deep edits of like certain videos, and like actually start like doing clips of like former shows of mine, because I feel like a lot of what I posted so far, whether it's YouTube Shorts or Instagram Reels or TikToks, which by the way, TikToks, I secretly kind of hope it does get banned, because it's just another thing I just don't want to honestly deal with, and that's a whole other conversation. But I feel like a lot of them have just been kind of like spare of the moments kind of videos that I've just been like doing, like, oh yeah, I'm practicing doing like a pentatonic scale. Like, I should really kind of take a video of this and to like show off my progress. And then a year from now, I can do it a video again. It's like, well, instead of doing like, because you go through TikTok and you go through Instagram Reels, and people are so good with the camera nowadays. They are so good. Like, well, I feel like with the video editing product, like, software of Instagram and TikTok alone, like, people have already made basically like little short films just on their phone. And that's something that just me, it's like I would love to kind of like be able to like sit back and do that kind of stuff. But I feel like at the same time, I've kind of like pressured myself to, just stay relevant almost by doing, oh, post a video now, post a video. It's been 3 days. You got to post something, because, because that's how social media is when it comes to being an artist. And so that's something I do want to focus on in 2025. Is I want to take a more structured, structured, like laid out, planned approach to social media. I want to make videos, and I want to make short form content that actually kind of matters and actually looks really, really presentable. Whether it's me spending a full day recording and editing a full video of like one of my songs and then clipping them, like, even just that, like, if I can just work for a full day to cover me for a full week, like, just stuff like that I'd like to very much do. So that being said, obviously, if I'm going to make things a bit more structured and a bit more detailed, like, content and stuff will be kind of like slowed down just a little bit. I feel like I've done a decent job within my first year. I feel like I've done a decent job of just posting, like, whether it be a cover or just like a random video of something, at a reasonable rate. So I don't know how often I will eventually do it. Maybe the rate will speed up, maybe it'll slow down. I guess that just kind of depends on, how much work I decide to kind of do for myself. That's what I really like to do. I feel like I've been kind of like stuck at that like some 200 subscribers mark on YouTube, and I feel like I've been stuck at like that 800 followers mark on Instagram. But I do want to immediately grow that. I think I've released enough music so far at this point where I can just start to kind of build like a small audience of my own. I have a lot of things, and I have a lot of arts that I would love to share, which leads into my next point. 2025, by the end of it, I do want to have my next album finished. Dear Friends and Family, I started, it was like August or September, or actually no, it was earlier than that. It was like, I remember I started writing it, yeah, actually, yeah, it was like August of 2023. The first song was actually Trio, fun fact. And eventually it did release, actually just about a year later. It released on August 2nd, 2024. I've already started to write and get through a bunch of songs now. I have like 10 songs already kind of like written that I've actually like really do enjoy, not including the other like song concepts I have. Um, so theoretically, if I spend the next few months polishing those songs and writing and then playing them in public to like test how they sound, then I can start going through the process of recording all of them, producing all of them, mixing, and starting to get everything together. I should theoretically have the next album done by the end of 2025. Um, which would be really cool because I think I want to continue this like somewhat weird story that I kind of have with Dear Friends and Family. Dear Friends, a little bit of a insider teaser for what I expect this next album to kind of like sound like. Dear Friends and Family is all based around the past and perfectionism, and obviously a lot about like friends and family. It's almost like kind of like me explaining like my thought process and my mindset over the first early stages of my life and how I've like kind of felt with that. And you can definitely hear that throughout the album. It has those different themes. And with this one, it's almost like, where do I go from there? This album it moves on from the past and talks about the present. It talks about the things I'm kind of going through in life now. There may be still be those things like perfectionism, but I kind of take things a step further, and there's other themes that kind of like come into play that I want that you'll eventually hear in the album itself. So it'd be really cool to like put that together and do it like, an album a year is like relatively decent. It's pretty good for a person like myself that is doing everything by myself. That's a pretty good rate. Especially with the amount of songs, because Dear Friends and Family had 18 songs. This one I'm shooting for like 15 or 16, so still pretty like hefty stuff as well. So I'm proud of myself for that. I definitely am. On top of that, there are still other music projects that I want to do as well. I want to go back and I want to do reimagined versions of some of the other songs I've like written. Because when I was planning the album first, like there were many variations I had for certain songs. Like Bloody Blues and Shore was supposed to be almost like a folky soundy song, and it almost turned into like a rock one. So I thought, what if I did one that was like entirely acoustic, like for that version? Same thing for like for Dear My Old Friend. That was originally written as a spoken word piece. So what if I re-recorded that with like a looping guitar and then spoken word? Like I want to do stuff like that. I want to make a reimagined version of Dear Friends and Family. So that would also be kind of cool. I want to go back when June comes around. I want to make different variations of Envy, because that one also had different variations to it. And also another random thing is I want to make Volume 2 for Birdhead. Birdhead was the first the first large album piece that I ever released. And that was a lo-fi album for Volume 1, and I do want to release a Volume 2. I feel like it's kind of time that I try to take a step up into just casual like desk like chill beats and try to like do that again. I had a lot of fun making the first one because it felt more like a relaxing passion project than did me trying to like make this like critically thinking like artsy thing. Like for Birdhead, it literally was just me with a MIDI controller, my guitar, and a microphone, just like making random stuff. So I really would like to do that again. That'd be really awesome. Yeah, that's kind of most of the music stuff I have planned so far. Oh, and the other thing, going back to the social media and going back to YouTube, what I want to start doing to help kind of promote myself and promote my own music is that I would like to start creating formal live covers of my own music, as well as possibly making more music videos for songs. I've had a couple ideas for 3 songs specifically. Yeah, I'll say it. Screw it. Idea About Perfection, I had an idea for. Grunder, I definitely have one, and Dear My Old Friend. Go for those are the 3 songs that I've really had ideas for like music videos for, that I would like to hopefully try to like shoot one day. That'd be really cool if I could. But yeah, other than that, let's also talk about writing again. Let's bring that up again. So writing has always been very weird for me because it felt like, as you can kind of tell, a lot of what I do, I try to give 100% in on. at all times. It's just kind of naturally who I am. I think everybody to a certain extent wants to give their absolute best and try to motivate them as much as possible. And I'm so sorry for Leo screaming, by the way. I am so sorry. Um, they want to give their all the time. And so I feel like every time I try to like touch writing in the same way that I touch music, I tend to like kind of give my all and dive really deep into it. And unfortunately, I don't want to go into the scenario where I'm kind of like half and half into music and writing. Like I want to like solely focus and finish a project in writing and then finish one in music. But I really would like to try to go back and actually write another novel. I feel like not just with the novels that I've written before in the past, but I feel like with the amount of creative experience I've gotten by doing songwriting, I feel like I've really had that itch and really had that motivation to want to write a new genuine story again. I think I could really do it. I feel like I can. I feel like I have like that strength to do it. And I think 2025 would be a good time to do it. I know it's asking a lot of one person to do an album, multiple music projects, video covers, and writing a whole novel at once. But I know that if I want to make it as an artist, I want to do that. This is the thing that I want to do for the rest of my life, and I can't be subpar if I want to, especially in the music and the arts culture now, where everything is so incredibly saturated. I have to give my all the time, because otherwise this won't work. Speaking of which, a lot of people often ask, what do I do as a day job? I don't. Last year, I come from an IT background. I was in the Navy for 6 years, and then I worked as a contractor for 2 years. I'm so sorry if Leo's very loud. Yeah, the editing is probably not gonna help. What's it called? So, but anyway, so I worked in IT for 8 years, and I remember I walked in to work on one Monday, and I was just so like tired and burnt out of just doing that and dealing with, stuff from like the past, kind of like being brought up. And I looked at myself sitting at my desk. I was like, if I just follow the same old like song and dance routine of going into work and just doing IT stuff just for the sake of, of financial success, I'm not gonna be happy with myself. I'm never gonna be satisfied. I literally quit. And then that very same interaction of me dropping off my resignation letter, I drove to my favorite cafe and instantly started writing my first novel. I was like literally day one, hour one, I was already hitting the ground running. And since then, I've learned so much about the music industry and writing. I've met so many fantastic people that I could not thank enough. And I want to capitalize on that. I want to capitalize on all the knowledge that I've learned all the past year and everything I've and the platform that I've built for myself. That I want to keep going. I want to take things to a whole other level in 2025. But yeah, that's basically all the things that I kind of want to like kind of talk about and kind of get on my chest and also kind of get on record, because I would love to watch this at the end of 2025 to see how much I've done or how much I haven't done. And I like making these kind of like even just like yearly things. Plus saying stuff like this kind of holds me accountable. I'm very big into like self accountability. I want to be able to kind of like say my plan so I can kind of like stick to it or use this as a reference guide. And again, I'm so sorry for Leo screaming all the time, but yes, these will be my plans for 2025. I have a lot more music that I want to do and get out of the way. I have a lot more arts that I want to create and show to people and show to the world really and make something bigger of myself. And I can't wait to get to work on it. I'm excited to see what's to come for the future. Oh yeah, circling back a little bit to my previous point that I was making for like my day job. That being said, obviously, if things don't kick off crazy, if I don't become like a chaperone case where I just get picked off of like a piano off the street and instantly start hitting the big time stages within like a few months, I obviously I'm like I have looked into different IT jobs again to try to do remotely, and I And another thing I've also looked into is I really like to also try to be like a barista. I love the idea of being able to work in a cafe, because cafes have always provided such a safe space for me when it comes to just my writing and my arts. So I would love to kind of give back to the coffee community, as you could say. Um, I very much love the idea of being able to kind of work coffee and work barista by day, and then be able to continue music and writing at nights. Because that would be like my dream scenario. Like my dream scenario, right, is I wake up early. I go to work in like my favorite cafe. I get to just nice, calm, like coffee, like barista setting. I get to make coffee and actually like give that like cozy feeling to people. And then I get off work, and then I can work on more like music and writing stuff. And whether it's performing a show in the evening, or just focusing on writing, or just recording a covers to like YouTube, like if I can just live like that, like that life, like I would be happy. Like as exhausting as basically writing, because theoretically I will be working 16 hours if I'm doing both barista stuff in the day and then music and writing in the evening. Like that, like, because that's fine to me. Like I don't have a problem with working, 16, 18, 20 hours a day. I just want to do it to something that I care about, and I want to dive into the fields that matter to me as a person. That is what I want to do. If I can just find that peace and comfort. I know everybody says, "Oh yeah, if I just had this, things would be like." Well, for me, that's, I guess that's the case for me now. If I could have that as my like ideal dream life, I'd be more than satisfied. I would be. Um, but yeah, those are my plans for 2025. Those are all the music and the writing stuff that I wanted to do. Thank you very much for sticking with me. I am very sorry for Leo being a very loud nuisance in the background. I hope you all enjoyed this very sit down talk. I think we're looking at like 21 minutes right now, 22 minutes, so not a long talk at all. Take care. I'll see you all in 2025. Bye.